welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be giving a review for the movie Harriet. Now this is about Harriet Tubman. Now this is a biography film about Harriet Tubman, and this is the woman, of course, who led the slaves along the Underground Railroad to freedom. So this film is actually detailing the events of that particular event in history. Now this did turn out to be a pretty good film, but I do feel that it had like some patient issues at times, but it still turns out to be a pretty good film, you know. And like I think a lot of the performances in the film were pretty good, you know. And the main character played by Harriet Tubman, who was also known as Minty. She had like different like names, you know, before she took on the name of Harriet. She actually kept her like the last name of her husband, known as Tubman, and also she kept like her mother's name, which was known as Harriet. So that's why she called herself Harriet Tubman. This is when she actually managed to escape from being a slave. You know, I get into all that as I talk about the film. But it stars Cynthia Erivo, I think that's how you pronounce her last name. I'm sorry if it's not, you know. But she plays the role of Harriet Tubman, and I thought she did a pretty good job in this role too as well. Cause like the film, it does open with like the events of like what happens with Harriet Tubman and why she wants to actually have like kids with her like husband. I think he was known as John, if I'm not mistaken. She actually wants to have like kids with him, but she doesn't want to have them in slavery. She actually wants to have them like free, like in a free type world, basically, because she's still like actually attached to being like a slave. She isn't actually like freed, you know. So she actually wants to have her kids like, you know, in like a free world, basically, once she's actually accepted as being free, you know. But apparently like their master, you know, I forget what his name is, he doesn't allow her to be free, you know. So eventually after he dies, she actually escapes, you know, to like freedom. I guess you could say freedom, when she comes across this guy who actually is like running like who takes like slaves, I think, and make them into like workers or something like that. She runs across this guy, you know. His name is actually William Steele, and he's played by Leslie Odom Jr. I think that's how you pronounce it. He's like a writer, you know, who actually takes like the slaves, you know, and so on like that, the Harriet brains, you know, and makes them into like workers and so on like that, you know. But yeah, the film, it actually details the events of when she escaped, you know, because she wants to be able to do this, you know, and she actually returned. I don't want to get into all that because it kind of spoils the film. But then it shows like the other moments where she actually continues to free more slaves. I think at one point it said she freed like over 700 slaves, if I'm not mistaken, you know, throughout her lifetime, you know. So I thought that was pretty cool, you know. There are like a lot of like tense moments in the film too as well. But what I want to do is really touch on is like the actual like some of the actual like characters in the film. Like you have the character of I think Guardian Brothers, I think that's how you pronounce it. And he was the son of the guy that was like the actual slave owner who actually owned Harriet Tubman and the other slaves throughout the thing. So I guess you could say he's kind of like the antagonist or the villain of the film, if you want to say there is like a villain, you know, you kind of say that he is, you know, because he's actually the one who's actually constantly pursuing like Harriet Tubman, and he knows her actually as Minty, you know. That's what they actually called her, as Minty, you know, before she took on the name of Harriet Tubman. Now there's like other actors and actors too I want to touch on throughout the film, you know. It's like so many, you know. It's like, you know, like some of them I do recognize, you know, like you have there's like one character played by Janelle Monáe. She plays Marie Buchanan, and she's like a person who works at the boarding house where Harriet Tubman actually goes and meet William Steele, and she actually is there in the film, you know, a lot. So she's one of the recognizable actresses that I can kind of recognize in the film. But there's like tons of other ones, you know, like the father of Harriet Tubman, you know. I would like to touch on him. There's like a bunch of like characters throughout the film, you know, kind of like you know, scattered throughout the film. So that's why I said it's kind of hard to actually talk about who I want or who really stood out, you know. Because I guess the main characters that really stood out were like Harriet Tubman herself, or like William Steele, or you have Guardian Brothers, you know, that they are the ones who I think really kind of stand out, like Anna Marie, you know, too, as well, that really stood out the most, like in the film. But it does just detail constantly like events of her like freeing slaves and so on, and take them through the Underground Railroad and all that kind of stuff like that, you know. But at the same time, there are moments where I feel like the film was kind of like dragging, and it did have like some pacing issues, especially kind of towards the beginning of the film. But I thought it was still like a pretty good film, probably one of the best films I've seen this year, you know. It does have like a nice atmospheric feel to it too. You really do feel like you're living in these times, you know, and so on. So yeah, I really do think this is a pretty enjoyable film. I would definitely recommend it, you know. Now this is also directed by I think Cassie Lemons. I think that's how I pronounce it. So I think they did a good job on like the actual direction of the film and so on, because the cinematography in the film is awesome, you know. It did look pretty good, you know. It really felt like I said like you were actually during those times, you know. But it was nice getting actually a good look at a historic figure like Harriet Tubman, you know, I think that was pretty good, getting a good look at how that transpired, how that went on, how it probably really looked at, you know, when she was actually transporting the slaves. Because at times it was like a lot of like the like some like the white people, you know, they was actually helping them too, you know, but it was like hidden, you know, they actually allowed her to put slaves and sell like their horse carriages and so on, you know, she would escort them across like the bridge and all that kind of stuff like that, you know. So moments like that I thought were kind of interesting too. You can tell that those people were actually kind of helping her, you know, even though she was like a slave and so on like that. But yeah, Harriet in the end, I'm giving this a B, like a solid B. I kind of want to give it a B minus, but once it got kind of like, I think like halfway to like the middle point of the film, it did turn to be pretty good and really enjoyable. I liked the performances in the film, and I thought Cynthia was very good, like in her role as Harriet Tubman. I thought she was pretty good, like in her role too as well. So I'm giving this a solid B. I would definitely recommend, especially for like historic film fanatics, you know. Please leave a comment and subscribe too as well.